Hello and welcome to the Tuesday, April 8th, 2025 edition of the SANS Internet Storm Center's Stormcast. My name is Johannes Ulrich and today I'm recording from Jacksonville, Florida. Quick update from Didier today to answer a question actually that came up in a class, and that's regarding Didier's tool XORsearch. If you're not familiar with XORsearch, it's one of Didier's famous Python scripts, and what it does is it brute forces various XOR parameters to figure out if certain strings are present in a file. So it assumes that the file is XORed with one particular byte value and then tries all 255 and checks if any of the results contains a particular string. That, of course, can easily then be used to figure out what is the right key here in order to decode the file. The problem that came up in class is, well, can you also search for a regular expression? And the quick answer is no. But Didier has a trick for you here, how you can still achieve regular expression searches. The trick is that you're just dumping all the strings. There is a mode in XORsearch that will basically apply all the XOR values and then extract for each XOR values any possible printable string, similar to the strings command. And then you can take that list of strings and apply your regular expression with a regular grep. Now, I hear Didier is working on a version of XORsearch that will officially support regular expressions, but that's, as far as I know, not quite there yet. But keep looking for it. Maybe it'll be out by the time you listen to this podcast, given how fast Didier sometimes updates these tools. And as we use more and more AI systems in order to automate processes, there is a new tool, the Model Context Protocol, that has gained quite a bit of prominence. It's essentially a standard way how you can define interfaces between your AI model and tools like, for example, a code editor. Now, when I first saw that, all kinds of alarm bells went off, considering that I'm now allowing essentially the AI model to completely control my code editor. But I guess, for AI people, that's just normal. Well, turns out there are indeed some interesting vulnerabilities here. Invariant Labs has a blog post where they summarize some of these issues. None of them is really surprising to me. It's just sort of a standard dependency supply chain style issues that we had for years with all kinds of libraries and package managers and such. For example, imagine that the description of the tool may not be complete. There may be additional parts of the tool that are not made obvious to the user, or after you approve a particular tool, well, the tool may change and then do something malicious. So don't really think that anybody is sort of too surprised by these vulnerabilities. Not even sure if I even call them vulnerabilities, but just things that more or less come with the territory if you hand over control of tools like code editors or your desktop, for that matter, to an AI tool that you don't completely understand and haven't completely reviewed how it works. Particular the sort of incomplete description and such. Yes, you can read the full description, but it's just not really made obvious to the user. And Google has added an interesting privacy improvement to Google Chrome, fixing an issue that has been around for, I think they're saying, 20 years, and sounds about right. It's around the fact that links that you visited are colored differently in your browser, and that coloring can be adjusted via a cascading style sheet. Where the privacy issue comes in is that the site then can also check whether or not a particular link has this visited color applied or not. Now, the reason this may not be such a huge privacy issue is that on the site itself, if you're clicking on a link, well, the site knows that you clicked on the link. But by inserting links that you may have clicked on other sites, well, this particular malicious site may still be able to figure out part of your browsing history. So what Google Chrome is doing now is it only applies the visited color if you clicked on the link while you were on the site where you're seeing the link. So a little bit sort of a partitioning here, same origin idea. So if I'm going, let's say, to Yahoo, I click on a link and then I later go to Google. Google displays a link to the same URL. It's not going to be displayed as visited. It's only going to be displayed as visited if you clicked on the link while you were on Google. So each site, each origin sort of gets its own history list, which allows the browser to distinguish where you clicked on the link. Interesting improvement. Don't think it really affects usability that much. Of course, you may see now on a site a link with the non-visited color, even though you earlier visited it. Don't really think that's a big deal. Usually it really sort of applies on the same site. You want to see if you visited the particular subpages or so on that site. Well, and that's it for today. Thanks for listening. Thanks for liking or recommending this podcast. And well, remember, it's Patch Tuesday. Well, and about Patch Tuesday, talk to you again tomorrow.